Hey, what's up guys? Like Butter here, and today I got another Division video for you, and I wanted to compare the MP5 and the Vector. I get asked this all the time, Drew, which one should I craft, which one would be better for me, and I want to talk about why these two guns are very similar. They're both very, very good high-end weapons, and I just want to explain why the gun is more preference than anything. It's going to depend on your specific playstyle and how you play. Do you PvE more? Do you PvP more? And I want to break down the two weapons and tell you guys what I think. Okay, before we do anything, let's talk about how to get the blueprints for these two weapons. The Vector 45 ACP blueprint can be found in the second story of the base of operations at the special gear vendor, and the Navy MP5N can be found at the safe house in DZ06 in the Dark Zone. I believe both of them cost about 180 Phoenix credits, something like that, but if you have 400 Phoenix credits stacked up, you'll definitely have enough for both. Now, before we talk about crafting them, let's get right into the stats and talk about the differences between the two. So I stripped all of the attachments off the Vector and the MP5, and we're going to show the base size of the clip, and you're going to see a massive difference between the Vector and the MP5. The Vector only has a 20 bullet clip, whereas the MP5 has a 30 bullet clip. The Vector is going to do about 2,000 more damage per hit, and is going to seem a lot more accurate. The stability on the Vector is definitely a lot better. I'm going to show you the differences right here on the wall. This is me holding down left click and not moving the mouse whatsoever. Feel free to test this yourself. The MP5 has a lot more recoil than the Vector does. One more thing that I want to add, since the MP5N is extremely high in recoil, you want to make sure that it's something that you can handle. It might be a little bit harder with a controller. Don't forget, I'm playing on PC, so pulling down the mouse, especially because I used to play games like Counter-Strike, is not very hard. So even though the recoil is actually insane, I can control it pretty well. The Vector also does more damage at a mid-range, but the MP5 does a lot more damage close range. I'm going to put attachments on the two weapons now and shoot it a few more times so you guys can see the differences. Now, these attachments that I have on both weapons are exactly the same, so not too much is going to change except for the size of the clips. Now, if you notice with my 102% clip size extended mag, you're going to see a massive difference with both guns. The Vector is going to go from 20 bullets to 40, and the MP5 is going to go from 30 bullets to 64. I think on paper, if you compare the two, the Vector is a more efficient submachine gun. However, I like the MP5 more because of my playstyle. I seem to run around a lot and hip fire a lot, and the way that I PvP is very aggressive, so the long clip on the MP5 is definitely a lot better for me. Also, the higher fire rate, it seems like you do more damage with the MP5 up close, and since most of my battles are up close, that's what I use. Now, if you're going to be playing more of the casual, play cover to your advantage and kind of sit back and play safe, then I would recommend using an assault rifle, maybe like the Black Market AK-74. But for me, in close combat, I really am leaning towards the MP5N. So here's the catch. The MP5 is extremely annoying to craft, whereas the Vector is very easy to craft. Now, for the Vector, all you need is weapon parts and tools, but for the MP5N, you need weapon parts, tools, and 3 division techs. Any blueprints that you buy in the Dark Zone, you need 3 gold division techs to craft. The gold division techs in the Dark Zone are kind of scarce. They're not the easiest to find. One of the reasons being that the drop rates aren't very high from enemies, and the chances of getting golds in the cases are extremely slim. Not to mention that other people that aren't in your group can come along and get those cases before you. The more times that you can craft the weapon, the better chances you have at rolling better stats. Not only better stats, but also better talents as well. So in my opinion, I would get a really good Vector first, and then over time build up enough gold division techs where you can craft a good MP5. So you have a better chance at getting a good Vector, considering you don't need those gold division techs to roll a new one every single time. It seems like at about 5 hours of playing in the Dark Zone, I get about 8 to 9 gold division techs, which means if I want to spend all my gold division techs just on crafting MP5s, I can only craft about 3 3 MP5s a day. Now, the god roll for the MP5, in my opinion, would be brutal, deadly, and the armor penetration. Unless you're going to sustain build, then instead of brutal, I would try to get self-preserved so that you can get that percentage of healing on crits. After I recorded this video, I went on an insane solo manhunt, which I'll be posting in a couple of days, so be sure to check that out if you want to see the MP5N in action. If you're low on gold division techs, I would be pushing more towards the Vector. If you have a lot of division techs and you're willing to try and get lucky, then I would roll for an MP5, because I think if you compared the two, the MP5 with the best possible talents and the highest crit compared to the Vector with the best possible talents and highest crit, I think I would take the MP5N any day. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, be sure to drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care, everybody.